Good morning, everybody. Just got back into the kitchen from yesterday, checking on the stocks. What I did is that I started the stocks yesterday, which you saw. Um, no, which you will see. This is the introduction. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. This way. Okay. Listen, what happened? This is the introduction. What I filmed yesterday was the browning of the beef bones and the beginning of the stock. We had some chicken bones left over from the French cooking class, which we might as well use for our velouté, even though the recipe I have posted is not really a velouté recipe. But once again, when we get to veloutés, we will. What we're going to do in the subsequent videos is finish off the stock, the brown stock and the chicken stock. The chicken stock will properly cool, which we never really show you that, how to properly cool things in an ice bath in the kitchen, which we should. But then we're going to take the beef stock and we're going to make espagnole sauce out of it. And making espagnole sauce is mirepoix and a roux. The roux I browned yesterday. Now, once again, there's a fine line between a white roux, a blonde roux, a brown roux, and there is such a thing as a black roux, which is used in Creole and Cajun cooking. Cajun? Creole? Popeye's Chicken says Cajun cooking. Cajun is one of the few real American cooking cuisines. That is a blend from French classical. That's where the roux comes in. The African slave cooking, which means you basically cook and fry a lot of stuff, and indigenous American ingredients, things that are found in America. So really, Creole cooking, the difference between Cajun and Creole is New Orleans city cooking, more fancy, more French influence and better products, where Cajun is the people that live out in the country, more home style, more spicier, more fried, that's for sure. I could teach a course on Cajun cooking because it's very good stuff. I mean, Tabasco is from Louisiana. Louisiana is where New Orleans is, so you can see like where this spiciness comes into. Black roux are used in gumbos, and gumbos are a traditional. It's a jute. It's a rice dish that's cooked like a polenta in a way, but you put shrimp and you put sausage. You'd like it. Not classical French, but I tell you, if we're in the kitchen and we do a gumbo, you'd like that because it's a jute with sausage and ham and chicken and shrimp and chili peppers. So it's nice with tomato, a little tomato concassé in there. So that's very, very nice. And they use a black roux. Now, if you darker you cook a roux, I don't know if this is science or this is what people told me at least. The darker you cook the roux, less holding power it has, less thickening. Especially when you get into the black or the very dark brown roux. I cook my roux to peanut butter color. Peanut butter. You know what that is, right? I usually cook, to me that's a good brown roux. I started it last night. I didn't finish. I'll finish it off today. I looked at it today. It actually looked fine. It looked dark enough. When it cools off, it gets thicker. It gets gloppier. When you heat it up, it turns into that wet sand thing. And once again, we'll go through more of the roux making process because it's kind of important. It's very important to cook it out. Two ways to cook it out: when you add the flour and the butter, and we use clarified butter today. If you've been in my class before, I usually use whole butter roux, where I don't take off the fat, the milk, and all that other stuff. That makes a roux burn a little easier. And once again, it might look like a white roux, but it might taste burnt. So you got to be careful about whole butter roux. But I like them because they have more flavor. But once again, in this class, and since it's a classical sauce class, we're going to do things right. Not saying do it right, but we're going to do it culinary correct. And so we clarified the butter first, got rid of the milk on the bottom, and the protein that floats on the top. So we really just have pure ghee. Ghee is the Indian term for just pure butter fat. And so I made the roux with that. roasted the bones. We put both of them I got both stocks in the water now. I'm going to add the mirepoix when we start the video, throw in the mirepoix. And as that's cooking, what I'm going to do is going to do a bechamel. Bechamel is a white sauce made with milk and roux, onion piquant, nutmeg. We're going to do it classically. Now, once again, if you've been in my other classes, a lot of times I make a bechamel more modern style. I don't put so much clove and nutmeg in it because tastes have changed. Then we get Escoffier, which we'll talk about, Escoffier and Karim and stuff. These guys were in the 1800s. They had a different taste, group taste. And if you're in my French class, you can see, like, especially French 2 here, we're using a lot of fat and cream and butter, and because, oh monsieur, that is the French cooking, or the classical French. It is very, very rich, to say the least. So, that being said, we'll do a classical bechamel. I got some chicken breasts. We'll add some garnish to it. Because once again, a mother sauce or a grand sauce is just the beginning. We'll make a bechamel, then we'll make it like a Mornay sauce. I got some cheddar cheese. Mornay sauce is usually Swiss cheese. Mornay. Cheddar cheese sauce, I guess, is a cheddar cheese sauce. But we'll add some cheddar cheese. We'll add maybe some diced onions, some white wine, finished off with a little butter. That's a sauce. The beginning is a bechamel. At the end is different. A Mornay sauce is usually Swiss cheese mixed into it, which we could have done that really per se. But Swiss cheese is pretty expensive. Cheddar's pretty cheap. Since you guys aren't tasting this stuff, I'm also just show you a simple basic cheese sauce. I got some pasta. We'll put it over some pasta. I got some chicken breasts. We'll just grill off some chicken breasts and then make a sauce for that. Maybe a sous vide sauce. Sous vide is onion. I got a lot of onions. That comes from the Lyon area of France. My dog named Leon, but Leon's known for onions. And you sweat the onions, and then you add the bechamel, and you cook it out, season it with salt and pepper, and that's about it. That's what a Leon is, really, a Leon sauce. It sounds simple, and it is a fairly simple sauce, but once again, you got to remember French cooking. Even one garlic is a lot. There's no gochu in it. A lot of things you really don't like. You like the cheese sauce, I know that, because you guys like cheese. But like a traditional bechamel, I don't even, professionally, I never really use bechamels that much. If I'm going to make a soup, I'll start with a velouté, because I like to me, the meat flavor is really what makes, I'm trying to get the sunlight on me. It was really dark in my face. Whoa! Sorry, guys. Anyway, I never really use bechamels that much. Now, the French take bechamel and make a thick bechamel, which we'll talk more in the PowerPoint presentation. And what they do, they'll put that on bread. Croque monsieur. I think you can get that in. Yeah, I think that Paris Baguette now carries croque monsieurs. I never had one here. First of all, I really don't like. But croque monsieur is cheese, ham, and bechamel put onto toast, and either grilled or just pressed. I guess I have to try that. Not one of my favorites. Not one of my favorites. But once again, we should look at all possibilities, because once again, you guys like saucy things, so maybe a croque monsieur would be a traditional croque monsieur would be good, and that has bechamel in it, and usually that has a lot of nutmeg in it, which once again I don't think you guys like too much. I don't know. That's why we need to be in class. You taste this, you go, okay, maybe we'll change it. Here we, we'll. Anyway, I always do the traditional first, and then we talk about changing it, because that's important. You have to change for your customer. That's for sure, what people want. Many restaurants go broke when the chef cooks for himself and not for his customers. So keep that in mind. Words of wisdom. We'll do the bechamel, we'll do the Espagnole sauce, and that should about cover this class. We got a lot of note-taking coming on the PowerPoint, but there's a lot of important information in there, which once again I want you guys to understand. This is a sauce theory class, and we're going to talk a lot about sauces and the mechanisms, the tools in sauce making, like onion piquant, onion brulee, the thickening agents, the just the overall. We already talked about making stock. So when we go into the video when I'm making stocks, I'm not really talking about that much, but we're going to need to make stocks to make sauces. So once again, you saw the video on how to make stocks, supply recipes for you, anything like that, anything you need, just ask. And then all through class, you'll see I'll probably make. Well, I'm making a veloute now. I'm making a brown stock now. With the Espanol, we can make many other sauces with the Espanol, or we can go into demi-glace. But if we do demi-glace, I'll have to get some more beef bones because I need beef stock. So we'll see. We'll see as it goes. Maybe we'll be in the kitchen soon. And we're in the kitchen. We can we could do because one thing about the sauce theory class, it's kind of strange or weird. If you make a sauce, you kind of have to serve it with something. I know some teachers, they have to give bread and you dip the bread and you taste it. And you get a good idea about it, but it's intended to be served with meat generally. Same thing like salad dressings. It's garde manger in the French one. A salad dressing, you make a salad dressing. The best way to taste it is on a piece of lettuce, because lettuce has what? What is lettuce? A lot of moisture. So you take a salad dressing, you think, oh, that's good. But then if you take a piece of lettuce, put it in there, you go, oh, a little shingupta. So it's always important to remember the end product, where you're going to be serving it. Make a cheese sauce, you're going to put it on pasta. You're not going to make it so thick because pasta itself is thick. But if you make a cheese sauce for, say, grilled chicken breast, you're going to make it so what we call nappe, that will stick on top. So once again, all these things are kind of important. The end service is important. There's a lot of things we have to think about in our profession. And when you're the chef, you always have to think about the end of the product. You tell somebody to make a bechamel, basically you say, well, what for? If it's going to be for a croque monsieur, it's going to be very thick. It's going to be for a cheese sauce because you're going to be adding cheese to it. You're going to make it thinner because the cheese itself is going to be making it thick. And then if you're going to put it on pasta, you're going to make it a little thinner because you're going to put it on pasta. A lot of things to think about, that's for sure. Okay, moving on. Okay, after this, you're going to watch the PowerPoint, and that's going to explain a lot. Then we're going to go into the cooking videos. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.